يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله يا رسول الله صلى الله على محمد.
As Muslims all over the world face Qiblah for prayers, so do all schools focus on Qiblah schools to emulate beautiful innovations. Our nursery and primary schools enjoy good teaching aid facilities as our team of qualified and committed teachers leave no stone unturned, ranging from academics to moral and religious teachings. Qiblah High School as well is a place to be with spacious playground, very conducive learning environment, library, ICT and indoor games rooms are not only well stocked but also equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. Our students perform brilliantly well at all external examinations as well as various core and extracurricular activities. Qiblah schools, comprising of preparatory and high schools, is at plot 2 to 5 Ibadan Southwest Multipurpose Scheme at Leshiloye, Ibadan. Telephone 0805-272-5253 or 0803-313-2027. Qiblah schools, we set the pace.
Alhamdulillah wa kafa, thumma salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in wa ba'du. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the universe, the cherisher of mankind, the disposer of all affairs. We testify to his oneness that he has no associate, he has no partner. He alone we worship and he alone we ask for help. We also testify to the messengership and prophethood of Holy Prophet Muhammad. May the peace and benediction of Allah be upon his noble soul, his household, his companions, and the unity of Muslims till the day of resurrection. You are welcome to your favorite program, Message from Qiblah, sponsored by Qiblah Schools, Al-Leshiloye, Ibadan. Today, on our episode of Message from Qiblah, we shall be discussing the last day. The last day in the sense that we want us to be assured of the fact that a day is coming that will be the last day and there won't be any other days thereafter. And this day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring every one of us into account. The way some people behave, the way they exhibit their animalistic tendency shows that they don't believe in the last day. Because if every one of us we believe in the last day, there is a day that will actually come to pass. None of us will be living on this earth surface except we are fearful of Allah and we are conscious of our duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we protect other people's belonging, that is, without infringing on anybody's right. So the evils that have dominated the land would not be like that if not because of our handiwork. So, and why is it that some of us we feel free to commit crimes just because we don't always reflect on the fact that a day will be a day that we give account before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that day is what we refer to as the last day. For us to believe in this last day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has named the day several names, has given several names to the day in Al-Quran Al-Kareem. Just because Allah wants every one of us to believe in this last day, there is a day that will actually come to pass. So believing in the last day is an integral part of faith. So failure to believe in the last day is equivalent to disbelieving in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For us to be assured of that day, that is its occurrence, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala identifies the day with several names in Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has named it Yawmul Aqir. that is the last day. Now on the hard surface, we have 7 days. We have Yawm al-Ahad, that is Sunday. We have Yawm al-Isnain, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like that. So on this day of Qiyamah, when that day comes, there won't be any other day thereafter. There won't be any other day thereafter. If it comes on Friday, there won't be Saturday after it. There won't be Sunday after it. There won't be Monday. There won't be any other day. It will just be the last day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls the day Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day of resurrection. Allah calls it Yawm al-Din, the day of judgment. Yawm al-Ishar, the day of accountability. Yawm al-Taghabun, the day of deprivation. Imagine, just for us to have it in mind, that is a day that will actually occur one day. There is no doubt about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yawmul la rayba fi, the day that has no doubt about it. There's no any doubt about the day. Will that day come or will that day not come? There's no any doubt about it. It's a reality. It's a day that will actually come. La rayba fi. There's no doubt about its occurrence. It's a day of no doubt. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called the day Al-Haqqa, the reality. Just for us to know that it's a reality. The day is a reality that will actually come to pass. Allah calls it in Quran Al-Qari'ah, the striking calamity. That's another name of Yawm al-Qiyamah. That the calamity that will happen on that day will so be magnificent such that there won't be any soul that will be able to carry the burden of that day, except with the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also calls it al-waqiyah, the inevitable. Something that there is no doubt about it. It will definitely happen. Something that there is no any iota of doubt about its occurrence. That is the day of judgment. Then why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has named the day several names just to put emphasis on the occurrence of that day? That is a day that every one of you shall return to him to give account of your deeds while on the earth surface. And that is why we have to be fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be fearful of that day. What shall be my position on that day? What shall be your position on that day? So we should be overwhelmed with this. And this will put us into a kind of activities that will actually make us get in the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. Allah says in Quran chapter 86 verse 9, the yawma tubla sarai, the day that secrets will be put on trial, the day that everything that is hidden will become manifest. So everything that we are doing in secrecy, that nobody knows about it, on the day of judgment, everything will be glaring. So the secret will be put on trial on the day of judgment. Allah also says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ الْمَالُ وَلَا بَنُونَ, that the day that neither children nor wealth will avail anybody. So all these properties that we amass, that we gather together on this surface of the earth, will not be there to avail us any opportunity in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They won't be there to rescue us. All our properties, our big mansions, our gigantic edifice, building structures that we have put in place, our children that they are doing very, very fine, that they are directors of companies, they are directors of parastatals, they are this, they are that. They will not be able to rescue anybody on the day of judgment. Allah said, إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be merciful unto on the day of judgment are those that meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with purified heart, with clean heart. Those are the people that their heart will avail them of every opportunity on that day. So that is telling us that every one of us, we should be fearful of that day. We should be conscious of that day. That a day would be a day that we are going to give account, and that day is the day of resurrection, the day that everybody will resurrect, the day that everybody will be judged according to what we did while on the hard surface. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes these days with some scary expressions, with some heart-disturbing expressions, just for us to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be seeking His pleasure so that He can be merciful unto us. On that day we shall meet Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, يَوْمَ تَكُونُ السَّمَاءُ كَالْمُهُلِ وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْعِهِنِ, that on the day the sky will be like milky oil and the mountain will be like wool. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَسْأَلُ حَمِيمٌ حَمِيمًا, no friend will ask of a friend. Just for us to see, to reflect on the agony of that day, to reflect on the tragedy of that day. Nobody will be there to ask of a friend that, my friend, what is your condition? How are you feeling? There won't be anything like that on that day, because it's a day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become furious about His creatures, particularly those that did not serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while on the hard surface. So the annoyance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show on that day will be so great to the extent that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fill the hellfire with mankind and the jinns, particularly those that did not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way He ought to be worshipped. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also tells us about this day. The يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُ الْوُجُوهُ وَتَسْوَدُّ الْوُجُوهُ فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ اسْوَدَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, on the day, some faces will turn black and some faces will turn white. As for those whose faces turn black, to them will be said that, did you disbelieve after your belief? Akafartum ba'da imanikum. Did you disbelieve after your belief? Then taste the punishment for what you used to reject. Then for those, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَمَا الَّذِينَ بِيَدَّتْ وُجُوهُمْ, for those whose faces turn white, they will be within the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they will abide therein eternally. So on that day, some faces will turn white and some faces will turn black. The faces of mushrikun, the kuffar, will turn black, and the faces of the believers will turn white on that day. And those people that will have their faces turned white, those are the people that will abide in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they will be there forever. My dear listener, so this is enough for us to begin to watch what we are doing, what we are saying, our activities, our actions, our dealings, our dispositions. Are we really preparing for the day of judgment? Do we have consciousness of that day? There is a day that will come. And we shouldn't deceive ourselves by thinking it's a day that is far. It's not far. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّهُمْ يَرَوْنَهُ بَعِيدًا وَنَرَاهُ قَرِيبًا. They see it as distant, and we see it as near. So the day of Qiyamah is near. We shouldn't see it as a day that is far, because mamata qad ja'at qiyamatu. Whoever dies, his last day has come, because that person will enter into barzakh. Then thereafter it will not be the day of judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spare our life upon righteousness, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us better understanding of this message than the way it has been communicated to us. Inshallah, in the next episode, how shall we prepare for the last day? What are those things expected of us as Muslims? Those are the things that we'll be dwelling upon. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spare our life. We pray that the school from which this message is coming, may Allah keep elevating the school. Tomorrow we shall be meeting again. My name is Rasheed Musa. Assalamu alaikum wa ila liqa.